welcome to the Bloody Hell Podcast. I'm Cass, and this is Carly, and guess what day it is?
It's my birthday!
That's right, ladies, gents, and everyone in between. It is Carly's birthday, and you'll never guess what happened since our last podcast. Carly, what happened?
Lockdown.
We almost got cancelled.
Oh, man. So, literally since we uploaded our first episode... When did we upload that? Last week?
Last week
on Wednesday, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was on Sunday. I can't
Oh,
remember.
no. A day last week we uploaded it. We were super excited. Thank you, everybody, for your really nice feedback.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciated it.
Oh, we love you all.
Yeah, thanks, Mum. Dad, you proud of me now?
We're going to get real sappy real soon.
Yeah, so we're trying not to do that, but we really appreciate all of our friends and family tuning in because this is just a little fun passion project of ours.
And it's just nice having people support a new random unexpected thing, except for Chi, who waited for a year. Hi,
yeah,
Chi.
Chi.
We know
Thank
you're
you
there.
So much. I'm number one fan since the beginning. Hi,
Thanks,
Chi. But yes, we almost got cancelled. Not a Twitter cancellation, not a YouTube cancellation.
The Queensland government cancellation.
Yes, we had a Cupcake 19 cluster.
3-day lockdown, which I don't mind lockdowns for 3 days because I think it does definitely improve. It's just a very stressful 3 days not knowing what's going on in 3 days.
We sound so privileged complaining about a 3-day lockdown.
I know, right? Listen to us rant. We're sitting here with our wine and our air conditioning with our 3-day lockdown, going back to work after Easter on Tuesday. Like it's just a normal week.
Yeah, so we had a mystery case happen which caused us to lock down for a bit, and like literally only 3 days. We locked down for 3 days, and we didn't know when we'd be able to film next, because it's quite ironic, because when we first started the podcast, when we were going to start, we went into our proper lockdown. That was when Cupcake 19 officially hit.
So we almost had a whole second dose, and we're like, bloody hell, cannot stop because of this thing. We have to do it. We can't stop doing it. So we're very grateful that we can still do this again.
Yes,
legally.
Our lockdown got lifted at midday today, so Carly came right over after work, and we're going to do an episode today.
Here we are. My birthday was not cancelled.
So for anyone out there that is worried that we caught up with each other so quickly during lockdown, we are both safe and fine. Carly works in the school sector, so she has to be safe, and me, I work from home. I don't leave my house, so...
You're a hermit?
I'm a hermit.
You're a hermit. I'm just going to call you like SpongeBob.
We have the
you
Easter
live in
lonely...
your pineapple.
My pineapple? No, I'm Patrick. I live under a rock.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Welcome,
Appreciate it.
welcome.
But that's okay. So we ended up not getting cancelled. We're all good. We're still filming this episode because Carly had a special request for her birthday. What are we doing today, Carly?
Happy Death Day to you. Happy Death Day to you. Happy Death Day is the sequel, not the main one. That we're doing Happy Death Day.
Yes, we're not doing...
I'm sorry.
Yes, we're doing Happy Death Day. We're not doing the sequel just yet.
The sequel, I don't...
We can talk about it later. Maybe on my birthday.
When you're officially old.
I am old. Shut up.
If you make it another year, you old lady.
Oh, bitch. Yes, we're doing Happy Death Day. It came out in 2017. It was a Blumhouse film, and they aimed to keep the film PG-13.
They did it.
They did it.
I mean, they did it. It was still a good movie. I think it goes back to not every movie has to be a gore fest.
Not every movie has to be a gore fest, because last time there was a PG-13 movie that I remember was The Ring.
Yeah, that, again, it wasn't really a gory movie. It was a...
No, it was more psychological.
It was scary, but yeah, it wasn't gory. So...
Yeah.
I mean, apart from when they found the chick in the cupboard and her face is all fucked up. That was horrifying.
Yeah, it was a little bit scary.
That was horrifying.
That was a bit horrifying.
Yeah, that scarred me.
But Happy Death Day,
It's a fun, happy
It's a
comedy
fun movie.
I love it.
Because sometimes you do need that campy, fun horror film, and this was one of them. I actually really enjoyed it. It got mediocre results at the box office. Like Rotten Tomatoes says it got like 72%.
72% for Rotten Tomatoes, like especially after our last episode where we spoke about rating bombing.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
I don't think 72 is a bad percentage for a PG horror movie that was made just literally to fill in like the Halloween slot because Blumhouse didn't have a whole lot going on. It didn't do that bad. I mean, like, it made $125.5 million at the box office. And then, like, straight away, they pretty much made the sequel in February 2019. That one tanked.
I think it just got review bombed because people couldn't get over their pride of a non-R-rated horror film.
Well, people wanted, back when, like, horror was very funny, back in, like, the 90s, early 2000s, and people got over it. And then I think people were like, we just want old, good, gory slasher movies again. And then we got Happy Death Day. And it was like that weird happy in between the two of like, this is dumb. I like it. I want a dumb movie.
Yeah, 2010 onwards was this weird revitalization of old horror films. And they were all done so terribly. I didn't like them. I thought they were garbage. Like the new... the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, that was just flat out garbage. Like, no one likes that
horrible
one.
garbage.
No one likes that one.
And you and I will feud to the end of time when it comes to Halloween and all their continuations. And
I'm smiling so much right now
You
because I
are.
know there's a whole argument.
we'll get there. That will be in the episodes that we talk about the Halloween movies is going to be me groaning and not liking it, and Carly just being so excited.
Just justice for Rob Zombie Halloween 2.
Ew. No,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I love his
Yeah.
music, but he should not write films.
No, I loved it. I think it's what a Rob Zombie movie is. If you go in there not expecting a Rob Zombie movie, then that's on you.
But like he typecasts worse than Tim Burton. At least when Tim Burton puts his ex-wife into a role, it's something different. Still gets murdered by Johnny Depp at the end of the day, but it's always a different role. Whereas Rob Zombie was like, all right, I need my wife to be trailer trash and a stripper.
But
And
also
just-
he knows, he's like, my wife is hot.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
going to show everyone. Like,
Oh,
look
yeah.
how hot my wife is. I love her.
Sherry Moon Zombie is a babe, and I love her, but it's just... He's just beating a dead horse here. He just keeps going on the same thing. But anyway, this is not a Rob Zombie related movie.
Oh, we
will get
so
to that.
many thoughts about this.
We will get to that.
I just love how I'm the pro Rob Zombie and you're like, no.
I like his music. I've been in his mosh pits. I've seen many of his concerts. He's fantastic. But
See, when you were saying you were the closeted horror fan growing up, I was a closeted Rob Zombie fan growing up.
oh, you're cute.
Yeah. So you were cute with horror. So suck it.
But yeah, back to Happy Death Day. Like our last podcast, we're going to talk about Happy Death Day for a little bit before finally getting into a full synopsis rundown of the entire movie. So we'll give you a warning when spoilers are incoming. This movie was released in 2017. I'm not going to blame you if you haven't seen it yet because some of these old movies weren't really marketed the best. I remember Happy Death Day being marketed mainly towards influencers to advertise, but they just relied on PR packages. And...
How do you get a PR package for a horror movie is what I want to know because they're living my dream and I want it.
You become an influencer and you reach out.
I'm not doing that.
It's not rocket science, but it's an upward slog. Just, you know what? It would be easier to just go study film, get into the film industry and go work for a studio. Go work in their marketing department and learn to put together these PR packages and then just take one home. So Carly has been really good at writing down all these notes about Happy Death Day. I've been slack. I just do the editing.
How many pages are there on our Google Docs document? There's too many.
Carly, you wrote 16 pages of notes.
Yeah.
We're not going to go through all 16 pages because a lot of that is the rundown of the entire movie that we will talk about, and we have that here so we can stay on track.
Because we're really bad at keeping on track, like the whole Rob Zombie conversation.
Well, I remember when I was editing our first episode, I went on a full rant about kettles.
Oh
for
my
about
god,
10
your
minutes.
kettle rant! You had a rant on kettles and express shipping time in Australia for cosplay wigs.
Yeah, I actually ended up deleting all that. So in our deleted scenes that you'll never see, maybe not, I did a big kettle rant, like actual tea kettles. I had a rant about electric kettles and how they're efficient and
You're
why
gonna
people in the
start
States
ranting
don't
about
have
the
them.
kettles again.
I'm not
You're
amending
so
it there.
passionate about the kettles.
I'm passionate about my tea, but I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop there before Carly just rips me a new one. So anyway, in her document, back to business.
We have business.
Shut up. So, okay, before I get to fun facts, let's just give you a quick rundown on the plot of Happy Death Day. So, Happy Death Day stars a student by the name of Tree. Is her name Teresa?
Her name's Teresa, but
Yeah.
they call her Tree.
Tree. I don't know, just Tree's a bit of a strange name. I kind of expect a celebrity like Elon Musk to call his kid Tree.
What did he call his kid? Like XY semicolon hashtag something.
His kid's name is a dial-up modem sound for all I care. But the plot of Happy Death Day is Tree continues to relive the day she was killed to discover the identity of her killer. So essentially, she relives Groundhog Day. She wakes up in the morning, she celebrates her birthday in that weird way that she does. She's actually a really horrible person in the start of the film. And at the end of this day, she gets murdered somehow. And she wakes up and starts the day again. And Groundhog Day, trying to figure out who killed her.
Yeah. So the couple of fast facts that I do have for this movie do go back to Scream. Which is really interesting. Yeah. I was very happy to find that. Scream and Saw. And we all know how much I love a good Saw movie.
Yeah, you love Saw. Okay, yeah. Continue.
So the Bayfield University College killer's mask, the babyface mask, was made by Tony Gardner, who designed the Ghostface mask in Scream.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a whole can of worms regarding that mask and its origin stories, and if it was a stolen concept, or if it was a stolen design, or if it's an original. It's a whole can of worms. Don't get into it.
Who wants to claim the babyface mask? It's freaking terrifying.
I'm talking about the Ghostface mask.
Oh, the Ghostface
The
mask.
Ghostface.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's a whole...
Okay, so the rights of the Scream mask is another can of worms. I thought you were talking about the babyface
Oh,
mask.
no, I was not clear.
Okay, no, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so the Scream mask was a can of worms. We'll talk about that when we get to the Scream movies.
It's
it's
interesting.
How does it relate to Saw?
Because they also, instead of having the babyface mask, they wanted a pig mask. But Saw did it.
Oh, the pig.
They wanted a piggy, but Saw did it first, so they couldn't use it. So they ended up settling on the babyface because it could be a college mascot. Apparently. I don't know any university that would have a baby face as a mascot.
That's the one thing that really terrified about me this movie. That baby face is their school mascot. They call themselves the Babies. I'm just no. I'd rather have like back in high school when you came up with internal team names. They were like Team Red, Team Blue, Team Green, and you were that for the entire year. I would rather that over the baby face. Hell, I would rather my private high school upbringing where we were given team names after nuns over that bloody baby face.
We did that. Yeah, we had that. We had our house names named after national forests.
Really?
Yeah, I was in Goombara and we went camping at Goombara a lot. So I had a beanie that said Goombara on it and I was very excited.
See, that's cute. I was in a house called Mulhall, and I'm like, what the fuck is Mulhall?
Mulhall.
It was a nun's name. I was like, okay, this is interesting. No one ever educated us about the nuns, but...
Yeah, but you were in their houses.
Okay, second fast fact.
And the lucky last fast fact, because I guess 1 and 3 kind of got blended together a little bit. But that's okay.
Oh, we talked about 3, the pig mask. Okay,
yeah,
all right,
but that's fine.
That's
it's
fine.
exciting.
It is exciting.
I was excited to see Saw pop up.
Yeah, okay. Well, the other fast facts.
Well, the last one was the ringtone. So in the trailer, it was like the big advertising song for the movie was the 50 Cent song In the Club. And that's what would play when Tree would wake up from her death and that song would play on her phone. And that was a song everyone associated the movie with. So when they went to the theaters, that song wasn't in there because they couldn't get the rights. So they ended up composing their own crappy little, it's my birthday, why don't you pick up your phone? And it's not good. And it's kind of ruined, it didn't ruin it, but it took people out of it because they were expecting this really upbeat, funky song. And they got a real basic ringtone. I know for myself, when I watched it in the movies, I was like, that's not the song.
When in 2017 have we ever set ringtones for our phone?
Could you just imagine Tree like on campus and she's like in the corner with like the back of the magazine like texting
downloading
their numbers
like
to download the ringtones?
Because that's the one thing that irked me a little bit. I'm like, no one's done that since 2004. Okay, I think it's really cool that they composed that happy birthday ringtone, but at the same time it gives every single essence of a late 90s, early 2000s MIDI ringtone that you have on your Nokia. But I just don't remember the last time I downloaded songs to my ringtone. Actually, 2008. 2008 was probably the last time I ever set a custom ringtone.
What is your ringtone now?
It's just a basic Samsung ringtone.
Can I call your phone and see what it rings?
Is my phone in here?
I'm super curious about this.
My phone's not in here. 1 minute.
Go
I'll
get your
it.
phone. I want to hear this.
Next, right. I'm going to get copyright struck by Samsung.
Probably.
Joke's on you. My phone's on silent always.
See, I can never have my phone on silent because of work. So,
There you go. Give it a call.
okay. What is your ringtone? Oh, it's that photo. That's even better. Oh, no.
Just your basic bitch Samsung ringtone. Do you want me to call you and find out what you are, Apple user?
Oh, no.
Wait, do you?
It's Jessica Jones.
Excuse me!
In the Chainsaw Massacre.
Wait. So, if I call you, you have the Jessica Jones theme.
I do.
And if you miss the call, you get the Texas Chainsaw Massacre camera noise.
What of it? Got a problem with it? So Tree could have set her ringtone to say happy birthday, and it's normal.
It's okay, Carly sets her ringtones, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2021. Wow!
I even paid for them on iTunes.
You paid for them on iTunes?
I did.
Okay, cool.
Because I am not technologically savvy, and that's how I do things.
You couldn't download an MP3 and set it to your phone?
On my imaginary computer with my Cintiq that's sitting there collecting dust.
You have a tablet.
I'm just going to remind
You
you,
have a phone.
about
Your
that.
phone is a microcomputer. You can do it on your phone.
What's an MP3 format though?
An audio format. You had an MP3 player growing up.
Yeah, but I was like 12.
Okay, next subject, because I'm about to drive my head through this
This
desk.
is when Cassie realizes I was Amish in a past life. And it's come through in this
Okay.
one.
So, anyway, back to Happy Death Day.
That was a fun detour.
Oh, that was a very interesting detour. Yeah. You're lucky we don't have cameras on for our podcast, because
I'm not crying, you're crying.
I've got the deer in headlights look right now.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. Alright, should we start talking about this movie now?
Yeah, let's start with Happy Death Day. So those who don't want to have this movie spoiled, now is the time to tune out. Otherwise, enjoy. Otherwise, enjoy. Otherwise, enjoy.
Okay, cool.
Otherwise,
Enjoy.
Otherwise,
Enjoy.
The movie sets us up with a wonderful intro screen to the Universal logo.
The glitchy, the glitchy logo.
Yeah, and it replays the logo over, and I think they took it a little bit too long.
Yeah, it got to like 6, and I'm like, can you just start the movie?
Just start the movie. Like, when you get to 3, okay, I get it. This
I
is
get
great.
it.
This is really funny. You get to 5, I'm just, move on. Please. You're beating a dead horse. I'm bored now. But it is still cool. They do a Groundhog Day with the logo starting. But I thought that was really cool. I liked that.
That's cool. I like how it comes in with like this massive wide shot to show that it's at a university and it's morning and it looks like a normal university. But then you meet Tree, who's the main character of this movie, and she's not feeling too crash hot. We've all woken up the next day.
She wakes up. She's obviously had a big night because she wakes up in a guy's dorm. And this guy, Carter, so sweet.
I love Carter.
Very sweet. He's given her a shirt. He makes sure that she's okay, and he's just quite sweet. She asks for Tylenol. He goes to find Tylenol for her.
She's also kind of a bitch.
She's a real big bitch.
Which is the point. Like, she's meant to be, at the start of this movie, she was meant to be
a terrible person.
a horrible person. And she is. She is not a nice person.
Yeah. But, like, she says things to him. Like, this is what weeds me out, because I went to university, and universities in Australia are very different to how this is depicted. And this could just be purely a Hollywood perspective, I don't know. But she first says to him, "Am I in a college dorm?" And in Australia, we do have dorms. People go to dorms, but I was one of the people that lived probably about half an hour away from my university. I lived half an hour away from a couple of my university campuses. So I went to a uni that had multiple campuses around Brisbane City, and each one specialised in a certain thing, and I could drive to each one depending on what my class was. It was annoying that they weren't central, like one big block of units, but there was usually like an internal bus network for like boarders that were there. Besides the point, I never understood things like sororities and anything like that. Like, Tree is a Kappa Nu.
She's just a Kappa. She said.
Kappa Nu. That's from
Kappa.
That's from Legally Blonde.
She's just
Tree's
a
a Kappa, and I don't get how sororities work. All I know is they're super expensive and super unnecessary.
They remind me of boarding schools, because I know when we go to boarding schools for work, they're very similar. But like, you have different houses that all the children live in. And they can get very competitive, but I think it's more of an age thing where
It's
you
more
have
of a
the little
sporting house kind of thing.
Sorry?
It would be more of a sporting house.
It's a boarding house sort of situation. So
Yeah.
it's sort of like a dorm room sorority sort of situation, and you do get the ones that are legacies, but it's still totally, it's completely different to America though. We're not, we haven't been to uni in America, so we don't know.
We don't know. It just looks unnecessarily expensive to me, partially because, unlike Carly, I have a massive effing uni debt. So
Just brag out my bad education.
no, if you don't have to go to uni, if you don't need to go to uni, don't bother. Okay, I'm gonna sidetrack and give you some educational knowledge right here.
Cassie time.
Cassie time. I went to uni. I went to uni for 6 years. I have a diploma and a degree. That's great. That can also count for jack shit if you've worked in the industry for longer. Alright? There are multiple ways to get the career that you want without having to go to university. Okay? You don't have to go. I went. I have a debt. I'm in the career that I want to be in, but I took the long road to get there. If you, I don't know, get out of high school, or whilst you're in high school do an internship for a company, build up some experience there and use that experience to get you up the ladder, perfect, great, do that.
Unless you want to be a doctor, then go to university and study that shit.
If you wish to become a doctor, please go and study. But if you're doing something like what I did graphic design and multimedia and digital media as something, I did a subject that's always evolving, always changing. I studied Flash animation in my first year, and by my second year, that class was completely defunct. Okay? So my sidetrack is done. If you don't need to go to uni, don't bother. It's just a flashy piece of paper. Okay, Cassie rant done. So, anyway, Tree wakes up in a dorm. She's all like, ew, am I in a dorm? Well, not really like that. That's a very stereotypical way of explaining.
She's just like, am I in a dorm room? Where am I? I'm super hungover. Who are you, rando dude who's under the counter? Where am I?
Yeah, and then let's never talk about this again.
Where are my pants?
You don't know me. You never met me. I'm out of here.
But then she does leave, and then she opens the door, and that guy, he yells, what is he? He's something about like, oh, yo, dude, like, did you hit that fine vagina? And
she's fine vagina or something.
Fuck. Something along those lines, and she's just like, fuck these people.
Yeah, no, if I was her, I would have been pretty pissed off at that point.
So she's just left. She's just like, I don't give a crap about this, because obviously her character's done this before, so it's nothing new to her. So she's just going on the walk of shame.
Yeah, walk of shame. It's not shameful to her. She's not. She
doesn't care,
because she's leaving this and going, I'm a Kappa. I'm going off to my house now. So.
She's like, I don't care. Nothing new to her.
Yeah.
But
yeah. No, continue.
As she walks out of their dorm room, though, you're introduced to lots of characters very, very quickly. And very obviously you meet these characters. So she first walks out and you notice there's like a goth, emo, trench coat sort of dude who has his sunglasses, and he pulls them down, and he's like, oh my god, like, she doesn't belong here.
Oh, I know. I called him emo Jim Morrison.
Oh, I called him emo sunglass man.
Oh, because he reminded me of Jim Morrison from the band The Doors. Because,
oh yeah.
Because to tell you what, adult Cassie thinks he's a complete dickhead, but
Teenager
Teen Cassie would have
Cassie.
jumped him and climbed him like a tree.
But like we meet the global warming petition lady. There's a couple making out on the field when the sprinklers go off. There's a car alarm, and there's the frat boys is singing like the beer bottle
The
song.
99 bottles of beer on the wall song.
Yeah.
Because I think you educated me on this, because I had no idea what they were doing. I was just like, why are they going for a Guinness World Record, or what are they
They're
doing?
hazing. So that's what they do to get into sororities and frats. I think it's more of a frat thing than a sorority thing. My education on movies and crime
Is this a Hollywood
TV.
thing?
No, it's a real life thing. Like frats in America have been like shut down because people have died from it before.
The fuck? This is
It's weird. It's weird. It's one of those weird dark sides of college things.
Okay.
So they had the frat boys. They're doing their thing. One collapses because he's exhausted because another frat guy has a sign on his chest saying that they're on their 26th hour of standing there singing this song. So he's just passed out.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
It was weird.
And then Tree runs into a guy named Tim who, by the sounds of it, kind of sounds like a one-night stand date, not gone too well. You don't really get to know too much about them.
They just went on a date, and I agree.
She never called him back.
She never called him back, but
Yeah.
he took her out to Subway.
But then the line though, it's not like you have a foot long. Was
Yeah,
it
no,
improvised?
they're both. Oh, was that
It was
improvised?
improvised. The actress improvised it because she's like, who takes a date to Subway? It's not like you have a foot long, and then walks away.
Yeah.
It was improvised. So I like those little things.
Because at one point I could sit there and go, yeah, who takes a date to Subway? But at the same time, you're college kids. Yeah, you take your date to Subway. Like, what else can you afford? Just, oh, God. Anyway, both of them were weird in this instance.
Yeah. So then we meet Cassie's favorite character when Tree goes back to the sorority house.
Oh, this bitch. Danielle. Okay, so
You have feelings.
She goes back to the sorority house, and all of a sudden this chick comes up behind her and goes, oh my God, you little whore. Or something like that. Like, she just calls her whore, slut. She just calls her all these names.
But she does it in that really fake, nice,
That fake-
nasty.
that narcissistic friendly. Like,
Oh.
she's just, I don't know. But then, like, when Tree goes up to her
To her
room,
room.
and she sees her roommate Laurie, and she says, "Oh, Danielle was so nice to me this morning." I'm like, "No, she wasn't."
And Laurie's like, oh, she obviously didn't realize you like jammed your tongue down like the guy she likes. And then Tree's like, oh yeah.
But I'm just, because she went, "Oh yeah, well, yeah, she because she goes up into her dorm and she goes to Laurie going, did I do anything embarrassing last night?" And she's like, "Well, you danced on the tables, you shoved your tongue down Laurie's love interest's throat." And
I think it was Danielle's.
no, that's sorry,
Danielle's love interest throat. Yeah.
Danielle's boy toy's throat. And Tree goes, "Oh, that's weird. She mustn't remember it either
She was
because
so
she was
nice
nice
to
to me."
me.
Like, she was not nice to you.
But we met Laurie though, Tree's roommate, who's a nursing student, who when Tree does walk into the room, she's on her way to a hospital shift.
Yeah, she's in scrubs.
Yeah, she's in scrubs, she's on her way, and she updates Tree about the night, and then she surprises her with like this cute little cupcake.
Little cupcake.
And
yeah.
she's like, I know it's your birthday. And then Tree's like, how do you know it's my birthday? But then she's like, oh, it's on your driver's license. And she hands Tree a cupcake. I guess it's like a peace offering friendly cupcake.
It's just your birthday. Here's a cupcake.
Here's a
It's got a candle on
cupcake.
it.
Yeah, like Tree's obviously not a nice person. Laurie's trying, and she gave her a cupcake. And
Yeah.
then Tree very promptly throws it in the trash.
There's like too many carbs. And,
In the trash.
but then like Laura goes on this whole thing like, I spent all night making that. And I'm just like, one cupcake?
One cupcake? What's in this cupcake? Gold?
I would even get suspicious if you spent all night baking one cupcake.
I don't bake, so you would be very concerned.
I would be so concerned. I'm like, did you pinpoint, like, if someone has gone to the effort of pinpointing batter to make one cupcake, I'm a little worried.
It could be she ate all of the batter and there was only enough batter left for one cupcake.
She's a Kappa. She wouldn't eat a cupcake.
But she's not a normal Kappa. Danielle says that she doesn't take cute selfies and she doesn't wear makeup and she owns Crocs.
I really hate Danielle. Like, okay, I hate Crocs. That's a viable crime. But, oh my freaking God.
Yeah.
She's a doctor. Of course she works, I don't know, she's a doctor, nurse, student, whatever. But of course she doesn't wear makeup because her job's... Anyway, okay, I'm going on a tangent. I hate Danielle.
Oh gosh. And then the first 20 minutes of this movie is very heavy and very quick pace, and you meet a lot of people and a lot of scenes get smashed out because you do realize you have to stay in this like 20 minutes almost. They need to make a whole day, 24 hours smushed into like 20 minutes of like movie.
It was only 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah, it was only 15 minutes till when the movie really started kicking off and they stopped doing backstory.
It's a lot to cram into.
I really appreciate what they did. They did it without rushing it too much. It seemed quite natural.
You didn't write 16 pages of notes.
Yeah, that's because you're nuts.
Yeah. So Tree then, she's off to a lecture that she's very late for. And the lecturer looks at her and she looks at him and you're like, yep, no, that's a thing. That's a thing. Yeah. So then Tree goes to the hospital. She sees Laurie working because Laurie's saying, oh, I had to work a double shift tonight. Won't be home. And that's when we realise that Tree and her professor, whose name is Gregory, is having an affair.
I call him Dr. Gaslight.
Gregory is having an affair.
He's just horrible.
Oh, he's not a nice person.
He's not a nice person.
But then Tree's not a nice person, so she surrounds herself with not nice people.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I wrote here, Hot Doc is a dick.
Hot Doc is a dick.
I just, like, okay, yeah, she's not a nice person because what she does, like, she goes into the doctor's office, right, and starts, like, making out with him.
And he's like, no, like, what if my wife comes? So you know he has a wife.
Yeah, oh no, because she kicks the door arm closed. Like,
Yeah.
no, she yeah.
She's very feisty.
She kicks the wheelie chair to the door, which jams it in place. And I'm like, well, that's some ninja skills right there. And then they get to making out, and then the wife comes in.
Yeah. So you know
and then
he
you
has a
realize
wife.
he's married.
So the wife comes in, and then she opens the door. Gregory opens the door, and Tree's just sitting there, and the wife, she knows she's not dense.
She's not dense. She knows.
She knows. You feel bad for her, but it's never really addressed. I guess
it's never explored.
It's just one of those. It sucks. He's not a nice person. She's not a nice person, and there's someone else involved. So
yeah,
that's not nice. And then all of a sudden we're at lunch. So they had their sorority house meeting that Danielle had reminded her about when she came home from
I hate Danielle.
Carter's house. You hate Danielle so much.
I hate Danielle because this poor chick Becky comes in with her tray of food.
It's like chocolate milk.
It's like, yeah, she's got like chocolate milk, I don't know, a sandwich, and she's got basic lunch stuff. And Danielle goes, oh, well. And Becky's like, why? What's the problem? It's, oh, Tree, can you explain the problem? And Tree goes, yeah, well, and just basically pinpoints that, like, she's got a whole lot of calories on her plate, or what's that fat fest doing there? And this poor Becky's like, I didn't eat breakfast this morning. I'm like, yeah, fair. You're making up caloric value. Good job. But, oh, they're horrible people. People. Oh, I wanted Danielle to, like, die multiple times.
But then, so Tree gets up, and then Carter's there. So Carter's run into Tree again, because she's left a bracelet at his dorm room. As Tree's gotten up, Carter's run into her, and there's milk. Then there's chocolate milk everywhere, and Tree's covered in the milk. Danielle calls Carter a douchebag, and I'm like, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
It's an accident. Like, he's just returning a bracelet. And then she's like, ew, do you know him? Like, who is this inferior human being associated with us now? And he's like, I just have your bracelet. Do you want it back or not? And then he leaves, and it's sad. And we're like, cool, Carter.
I don't understand Danielle's character just because she looks and dresses a lot older.
She looks like a politician's wife.
She looks like a politician's wife than an actual college student. I don't know. She looks like she should be, you know, like in remember the House Bunny movie?
Oh, yeah, Diana Faris.
Yeah, she was the den mother, the
yeah,
house mother.
I remember that movie.
But then the other, the rival house, their house den mother was Cece from The Nanny, and she was all up there in like business suit, power suits and all that.
Or Legally Blonde, where you had Elle and then her like competition next. I can't remember her name. She's a short brown hair, who always wore the business suits. It was very professional looking.
Summer Blair's character.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
so
about.
she has that major.
It's just
I'm an
so
adult
outdated,
vibe.
though. It's weird. It looks like she's going off for a polo lunch, which is not something I expected of a college student.
You really don't like this
I
character.
don't like this character. I'm very confused with how she was written, okay?
She's
Interesting is the word.
Interesting is a good word to describe her.
But then also, when they're having lunch, they pan to, like, when they start off the scene, I'm going to rewind us back to the beginning of the scene. They rewind you to, like, they start the scene off by panning past a stall selling the Babyface merch.
Oh, they did. They had to introduce the mask somehow, yeah.
There goes my phone. But the merch is just horrifying. I'm sorry, but I'm still not going to get over why a baby face? Why baby? Why is a baby a mascot?
Because it makes a good killer.
No, it makes a good killer, but it's a horrible school mascot. Like, are you sitting there going, yeah, we're babies, go babies?
Well, the other masks were taken, clearly.
Why do you want to make merchandise off babies?
Maybe they're not a very good football team and they just cry a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to know why it was a baby face. Like, that is something I would like to know.
I don't know. Maybe this is like, let me know weird school sport houses, because baby face, just baby, weird. Weird. Okay, I'm done. Next.
This is weird.
Okay, so we've gone through the scene. They had their sorority lunch. Tree got milk tipped on her because Becky was making a runaway, and Carter, there was just a hubbub of three of them. Anyway, she sent Carter on his way. She's done with him. And she goes back to her apartment, well, to the Kappa house, to get ready for the event that night.
Yeah, so like a birthday event. So she's just like hanging out in the room, getting ready. She's painting her nails or her toenails.
She's watching the video on her phone of her mum.
That was the second day.
Oh, that was the second day?
So the first night she was just there chilling, painting her nails, like just hanging out. And then Danielle comes in and she's like, I stole your top, but it's totally fine. And this top you despise as well.
I also hate this because the top looks like she's taken a silk night robe and just chopped it in half.
It does.
It doesn't look like a top that you would wear to a party.
It does. It's fun. And the power goes off, but then like flickers back on again. And she makes a comment like, our tuition dollars at work. And then she leaves.
You don't even spend tuition dollars. Your parents are. Your parents are going broke paying for you to be in a sorority house.
Maybe they have a hex debt.
They don't do hex debts over there.
Yeah, no, maybe they have something else over there. I don't know.
To those who don't know, I'm tuning in from overseas. Hex debt is what we do in Australia. You go to university, you create a university debt that you do not start paying off until you get a job over a certain threshold. I think right now the threshold's just over 48k per annum.
45 now, I think. It's
45.
not much. It's
No,
really not much.
Like, I'll give you some insight. In my pay slip, I probably pay about $20 per week to my hex debt. And that's probably about it. So it's money I don't see, money I don't care about. It's $22 out of my
monthly paycheck that you're so ecstatic to get.
Yeah.
But you do love your job though.
I do love my job.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So Danielle's left, Tree's just gonna get ready, and then we kind of cut to Tree walking to where this party is, and she's on her phone. Her dad's so upset. Sad dads make me so sad.
Yeah, so Tree's been ignoring her phone all day because she's been receiving calls from her dad.
And we find out in this voice message that he's been stood up by her. He's waited there all afternoon. I can't believe he did this to me. Like, he's mad. He's just like sounds really sad and disappointed.
He's heartbroken.
He's so sad.
Because you later find out it's a hard day for her and her dad because she, her mum passed away, and her mum and Tree's mum passed away, and they shared the same birthday, so you kind of understand why Tree is what she is, and you do feel sorry for the dad because it's also a hard day for him as well.
And now he's lost his wife, can't see his daughter because she's just kind of off ignoring him. So he's not having a good time either. So she's kind of like just gone, whatever, put her phone away. And she's walked up to this tunnel with a bunch of like flashy construction lights going. And there's a really creepy music box just playing like the Happy Birthday tune on repeat. And it's really creepy. And it's really eerie.
It's a good setup.
Oh, it's creepy.
There's a lot of... So, yeah, she's walking over to another campus sorority house where the party's being held. And she's obviously taken a shortcut because of all the under construction signs around it. And it's one of those classic underground-ish tunnels.
Like a bike tunnel.
Like a bike tunnel under a bridge.
Thing.
Yeah, so, you know, like one of... like that. It's got two very narrow exit and entry points. Yeah. So there's a little musical carousel box in the middle that's playing the song Happy Birthday, and it's creepy. It sets the
creepy.
scene pretty well.
Yeah, so Tree's obviously, like everyone would be, freaked out, and she's like, what the fuck? Nope, screw this. But then Babyface appears at the end of the tunnel where Tree is, and she's just... she's at the start at one end and he's at the other.
No, she walks to the middle and he shows up back behind where she was.
Thought he was in front of her, and then she turns back around to go back to the sorority house, and then he like jumps out and gets her.
No, because she runs towards the construction signs, which are on the other side.
I thought they were on the other side. I thought they were all around. No, doesn't matter.
Anyway, that's okay.
Anyway.
That's something for us to rewatch and to find out who's right and who's wrong. It's okay. I'll find that in editing.
Babyface appears, and then Tree's like, what are you doing? And then she yells, you should try something or other, sorority, they're into cosplay.
Oh, yeah. You should try the heifers at Delta Gamma, they're into cosplay.
And I'm just like, oh.
And I'm like, excuse me, I'm taking offense to this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I am not into babyface killers.
So Cassie's next cosplay is going to be Babyface.
No, fuck off.
Yep.
No way.
So then Tree's like, fuck this. She goes to Leggett and she dies. She gets
liked her
stabbed.
first death though. It was very effective. It was just a quick, like, they insinuated that they had a tumble around, and he just full on shanked a knife into her forehead.
Babyface doesn't screw around. He doesn't play with them. He doesn't torture them. He doesn't chase them around, or a little bit, but he's just very, okay, she's clear, I'm clear. I'm gonna go stab a bitch.
Yeah, no,
He's very effective.
He wasn't like a cat. He didn't play with his food before going after it.
He's very effective. So she dies, and then suddenly she wakes up to the birthday tone on her phone.
No, to the bell.
No, it's her phone.
No. She wakes up to the sound of the dinging bell, and then her phone goes off a few seconds later.
Oh wait, yeah, no, you're right.
I'm right for once.
One time. Maybe 2 times about the tunnel.
let me be proud, because you wrote 16 pages of notes and my wine brain remembered something.
So yeah, Tree wakes up, and then we kind of now get into the gist of the movie. So the last 15 minutes have been very set up.
I found it really cute, because she was obviously very weirded out by this situation. I think she kind of passed off what happened the day before as a dream.
Yeah.
Because in this one, she's a little confused.
This is like a very vivid,
she's not
lucid dream sort of thing almost.
Because she pointed out where Carter's Tylenol was. Because in her first wake up sequence in the beginning of the film, she says she's got a headache. She asked Carter for his Tylenol. He went around fumbling around to find it. Mm-hmm. In this instance, she just went, It's over there. It's over there. Just give it to me. Laundry pile just is there. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
And he didn't question it in that scene. He questions, because she does it again in another time. And
and he's
because she just storms over and grabs it.
Yeah, and he's like,
been here before.
Like, you're very comfortable.
Yeah, and then we have Emo Jim Morrison again. She does the rounds. Emo Jim Morrison, Save the Earth Girl, the sprinklers. She's just dazing through it. She is so confused.
She's confused. She's stumbling. But she's not, like we said before, she's very kind of like lucid dream.
Yeah.
Very like deja vu. This is weird, but okay. And then she sees Tim in that corridor again, and she's like, hey, what's the day today? And he's like, it's Monday the 18th. And she's like, okie dokie then, something's going on. Okay. Then she rushes back to the dorm rooms or the sorority house, and she's Danielle again, and at this point, Tree's acting very odd, and Danielle's like, what's up with you? And Tree's like, oh, just like deja vu. And Danielle makes this comment. Danielle.
Yeah, you can go.
Danielle makes this comment of deja vu is when someone is thinking of you while masturbating, and she gets it at least five times a day.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. So she's conceited and kind of gross.
Because Because, okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
and then, okay, so we're going through the scene. She goes up. She tells her roommate that something's up. She just doesn't feel right. And then we go see Dr. Manipulation again.
But we missed out on one part, though.
What?
Laurie's like, oh no, I have something that'll make you better. Here's a cupcake.
Oh, yeah, the cupcake.
So I'm going to do this thing called Cupcake Watch.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Cass isn't keen on Cupcake Watch. I'm super keen on Cupcake Watch.
Probably because we called certain yearly events COVID. Sorry, don't want to get demonetized, even though we're not monetizing this video. Cupcake 19.
But we know in context this is an actual like birthday cake cupcake.
Okay,
It's a very I think they're not silly. So the first cupcake went into the trash. The second cupcake Laurie gives Tree. She just doesn't take it. She just leaves, and Laurie's just holding it like. Okay. Don't take my cupcake then. Fine then. And then we're back at lunch again, where again Tree's just sitting there really dazed out. And
so wait, when does she go see Dr. Manipulation? Because this is when when she goes to see the dude that she's sleeping with, right? He gives her this big spiel of
it's after the lunch.
After the lunch. Oh, fuck the lunch because I hate Danielle. They have a lunch again, okay? Big whoop.
The lunch happens like 4 more times.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a lot. It does get a little bit. Certain scenes I find, like the lunch, I got over really quickly. It got very repetitive. They'd only showed it about 4 times, but
they could have made it like they could have even just made it like a split second just to show that she's there.
I got over it pretty quickly. That was the one scene I was like, I will cut this, but okay, I'm not complaining about it.
Okay, so after lunch, she goes sees Dr. Gaslight again.
Dr. Gregory.
And Dr. Gaslight's giving her this chat of, now you can't fall in love with me because she's feeling dazed and she's gone to see him, and I think he's getting worried that she's coming to him when she has an issue, and she's like, no, I'm not falling in love with you. And
he's like, oh, thank God, rams his tongue down her throat.
I know. I was like, the fuck? And then she's like, wait, no.
Your wife.
And he goes, that's a turn off. And then the wife is like knocking on the
At
door.
the door.
And he's like, thank God you locked the door.
And she's just like, I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, I wrote down, she 100% knows the wife. Again, like I said before, it happens a lot. There's like main key scenes that get repeated like 4 or 5 times. So we're going to try and just run through them, but they're happening. So we go back to the house.
Danielle wearing her top.
It makes a comment about Tree's shirt. There's a power outage, and then she asks Tree what time she's going to the party. Tree's like, I don't know.
At some point.
She does the phone thing again. She's walking from her sorority, gets to like the tunnel, sees the flashy lights, and she's like,
I'm going to go around.
Nope.
Yeah, she decides to not take the shortcut, and she goes, okay, in my dream, I got murdered when I went this way, and the musical box the box
was there and everything, so she's just like, nope, fuck this.
Not going to go this way.
So she went around and went to the other house where the party was at instead. Smart girl.
Tree takes an alternate route, obviously a different way, not the shortcut from before where the creepy music box is. And she arrives at the frat house where the party was being hosted.
She doesn't know it's a party though; it's a surprise party.
Well, no, she knows it was a party though, because that's why. That's when Danielle goes, "Well, make sure make sure you're not late because you'll miss out on the cute frat boys."
But the house is really dark though, so she's confused. She's like,
she thought she was at the wrong house.
Not on. Yeah, so she's like, "This is odd. I thought this is where the party was, but like."
It's really quiet.
Yeah, so she's a bit concerned, and she like knocks because it's all locked and really dark, and she's like, "Oh, that's a bit odd." Okay, and she like just kind of fumbles on the like the doorstep, I guess, for a little bit.
Didn't she open the door or something?
No, she couldn't. It was all locked. So she like knocked, and then she just like turned around, looked around until someone's answered the door, and she turns around, and it's a baby face.
Oh, that's right.
And then she's like, oh shit, and then just clocks him, square in the face.
That's right.
And that's when we realize it's not the bad baby face, it's
a surprise party.
And she's walked in and everyone's like, oh.
It was such a cheap jump scare, but it worked.
It was funny. It was uncomfortable. Everyone at the party was just like, oh shit, she was like, decked the dude in the face. What the hell?
Don't mess with the capo. That's what Danielle says.
And then everyone just starts to cheer and they party on.
Yeah.
I did notice, so very quickly in this movie, which is funny, it's like it's not a big detail, but it's a funny one. They didn't do the red cup thing. They did blue cups.
They didn't do the red cups, yeah.
Yeah.
I think because that sorority house at the front of it, their logo was blue. So maybe...
I have no clue. It was just blue cups instead of red cups, and it was an interesting little
choice.
thing.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. It was just.
But yeah, alright. So they just have the stereotypical Hollywood frat party. It's just,
It's laser beams and smoke machines and
just
drinks and loud.
It's a generic party. Danielle and Tree are just talking. Like Tree seems to have forgotten everything from yesterday, and she's happy. Danielle spots good guy Tim, who was it Tim? No,
Nick. His name's Nick. So Nick's the guy who she punched in the face.
No, the guy that she hooked up with, the subway guy.
Oh, it's Tim though. I didn't see Tim though.
Yeah, because
okay.
he was in the corner. She's like, "That's your stalker, isn't he cute?"
Oh wait, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, she saw Tim and was like, "Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Okay, 3 out of this one."
I'm smart.
It's past my bedtime.
It is. It's currently 10 p.m.
It's past my bedtime. I'm a morning person, so I'm that person who's like up at like 6 o'clock every morning.
I just have insomnia. Anyway, so...
I'm just a sleepy human.
I used to be a sleepy human. Now I just don't sleep. But anyway, so they're just having this generic party. Tim's there. Danielle goes, "Oh, is that your stalker?" And Tree's like, "Ew, no." And then the guy that Danielle likes, what was his name again?
His name's Nick.
Nick, he was the one who was wearing the baby face mask that he got clocked in the face. Anyway, he starts cracking onto Tree. Danielle starts flicking her hair around, thinking she's going to get his attention.
Oh my god, she's so cringy. She's doing the funny laugh, and she's like, "You're so funny, Nick."
Yeah, and I'm just like, really? You're after this guy?
Oh, okay. I feel like your standards would be like.
I thought her standards were a lot higher.
She acts so adult, and she pretends to be so adult, but like when it really, really, really comes down to it, she's just a teenager, like everyone else.
Well, because she has this Desperate Housewives aura about herself, and she's just, I don't know, I don't get it. But anyway, so all the stuff happens. Next thing you know, Tree's going up to the dorm room with, she goes to, what's his name's?
To Nick, because they kind of, he gives her like, as like they're saying goodbye, Nick goes like, "Oh, well, you can say sorry for it later," sort of thing, for like her punching him in the face. And she's like, "Yeah, okay, I guess I can." And then they had this awkward look across the room, like,
stare down.
Smile, stare. It was weird.
He walks upstairs, he gives inviting bedroom eyes to her.
Yeah, bedroom eyes. And she's like, "Okay."
All
so up she goes. And like she goes to his room. And what did you say? It's the most like stereotype set design of like a frat house room. Like there was this massive blue bong. There was a sex doll with a sombrero on it. There were 3 pictures of roosters hanging on the walls.
I don't get the cock photos, but okay.
I think because like dicks, essentially, like a cock is a dick.
Okay.
So
there was paddles on the wall for some reason.
Well, it's a frat thing, so like get the paddles, and that's what they would like beat things. That's going back to like that frat house.
Okay, because I think of like early 2000s anime conventions with yaoi paddles.
Oh yeah, no. No.
That's where
But do you know The Simpsons where Homer does that like the club, the stone.
Oh, the stone. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know
they had the paddle. Yeah, that's essentially like a
Yeah.
frat, and they got a haze to get into it, and they had the paddles and.
I don't get it.
But you got
I don't get it, but I get it. Okay.
Yeah, so they have it's a frat room. So
But anyway, my personal favourite thing is they go into the room and then he shows up, he's trying to spook her with the baby face mask again, and she takes the mask off him. It looks like something's going to happen. He's like, "Why don't we make this room more comfortable?"
he has when he turned these lights on, my brain went like sharks with laser beams.
Yeah, he had a disco ball, he had laser lights in his room.
And the music was so loud.
It looked like a TikTok video in his room, but without the filters. His room was just the filters. It was freaking insane. But yeah, so he's having this like rave of himself dancing like 2007 goth kids.
It was funny. And Tree is like, "It's a bit loud, don't you think?"
But in the meantime, she's got her back turned to him, answering text messages from Danielle.
Because she's like, "Where are you?
Are you with him? You bitch, blah, blah, blah."
And she's like, "Why wasn't called blowing freshman year?"
Yeah, they're just taking
funny.
jabs at each other. I'm like, oh my god.
They're like those frenemies where they hate each other, but they have to be nice to each other at the same time. Because the other one probably knows too much about the other one.
They're the ones that would grow up to be YouTubers and have T-spill accounts on each other.
Oh, 100%.
But in the meantime, behind her
is Nick. Is like his little self-rave.
Self-rave, but then Babyface comes out
He
and
just stabs him.
murders the hell out of Nick.
Because the music's so loud, Tree doesn't notice.
And then he throws the body on out of sight, like still out of that. If she looked down, she'd see it, but obviously too distracted.
He was like next to the bed, where it wasn't like a direct eye line, I guess.
Yeah, but anyway, they have a kerfuffle again because she turns around and goes, "Okay, I think I'm done with this. Danielle's gonna get mad," and then, bada bing, bada boom, he has a knife.
She's like, "Oh, you got
oh
Nick.
shit! Oh, there's his body. There, okay."
Oh fuck!
And they start fighting, and then my favorite scene of this is the Babyface killer gets Tree on the bed,
and on
he's
top
like
of that, wrestling, trying to like stab her or choke her or something.
And then this frat boy enters the room and goes, like, drunk as hell, goes, "Huh?" And Tree's like, "Help!" And this frat boy was like, "Huh? Yeah!"
And then she's like, "You asshole!"
Closes the door, and then the Babyface killer takes that giant bong, smashes it, and just shakes her with the broken glass.
And then she wakes up again.
And then we go again. I'm not, yeah. God. We're not even into the montage yet because...
Oh, I love the montage scene.
Okay.
though.
I'm going to speed run up into the montage here.
Okay,
so,
do that.
She wakes up. She's screaming this time. She is in panic mode. So she's screaming. She leaves the dorm room. He is very confused. She goes back to her apartment. Laurie is being very calm with her roommate. So Tree goes back to her apartment. Laurie's like taking her very calmly, being like, "Let's talk this through. Why don't you have a nice night to yourself tonight and all that? And why don't you try and work this out?" Wait a minute. I haven't heard past this because...
No, like she gets there. Like, yeah,
because
you're
I
right.
think we've got another death in here before. Have we got another death? Oh, Jesus! Before we got the montage.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Anyway,
So-
Laurie's really good, and so that's when Tree goes, "I'm gonna barricade myself in the room for the night."
Yep.
And so she's barricading herself, and at this point, Carly and I were trying to figure out the layout of this room because
It's annoyed you so much.
because, well, it's just she moves the dresser to block the door, and then she starts hammering wood panels onto the window, and I'm like, "There goes your security deposit." If you even have a security deposit in dorm rooms, I don't know.
Someone's going to yell at you for putting holes in those, I'm sure.
I don't know. And then so she's there, she's chilling in for the night, she's about to dig into her cupcake, and she's watching TV, and because so Carly and I are trying to figure out where the beds are placed, because Tree's on her bed looking at the television, and then next to her is a bathroom, and the doorway is in like this weird hallway, and we're like, well, where does Laurie sleep? Laurie's bed is like right next to the television. I'm like, this poor thing.
It's in like the little nook
Yeah.
corner next to the bathroom. So it's like, I was saying to Cass, I think it's because Tree is so selfish. She just like took the majority of the space as her own and then gave poor Laurie the little corner. And Laurie being nice is like, okay, whatever.
So she'll hear toilet flushing and television noises, but not see it. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah,
I mean,
rude.
Tree's not a nice person.
No, she's not.
No. So, yeah, Tree's like, she's bunking down for the night. She's like, okay, I'm good. I'm safe. Danielle does her thing. She knocks on the door, says we're going to the party. Power goes out. And then Tree has the cupcake that Laurie had given her earlier. She didn't take it. It's just there.
Yeah.
And she goes to take a big bite into it, but then
Before she even takes a bite.
until she doesn't take a bite yet, she goes to take the bite. And then the TV shuts off, and she's like, well, that's odd. But then she's gone, whatever. So she's trying to find the remote and all the bed sheets. But we've all done this. We've lost the remote in the bed, and you've got to like pull all of the sheets off to try and find the remote. And it's like right next to you.
See, I'm sorry, but even in 2017, this is just me. I have a PlayStation, and my PlayStation is connected to... I watch YouTube via my PlayStation, and if I want to change the channel or what I'm watching, I just connect it via my phone for remote play.
But that's you, though, and you're not a college girl who's selfish in 2017 who doesn't have a PlayStation.
Okay.
She's just watching TV.
Okay, so we're talking about college. Okay, so I had an Xbox.
No, she just has a normal TV and a normal remote. So she's also the remote. She's like flinging her sheets up to try and find it. And she gets out of bed. She's lost it. It's gone. But the TV turns back on by itself. And she's like, that's odd. But she's like rifling through the sheets. She's going through the desk. And she finds like a birthday card that says like, it'll be your last day today. Like a bit of a
there's
weird...
no tomorrow. Enjoy your birthday because there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's a bit of like a menacing card. And it's got like a little baby face spinning around.
Yeah.
It's a bit odd. I mean, it doesn't really come back to anything. In the montage, it answers it, but it's not a big thing,
It's not a big thing. If anything, it's probably because she's panicked. She maybe takes it out of context.
Yeah.
Because I think the card meant party, like, for your birthday, like there's no tomorrow, but obviously it's worded badly. Yeah. But anyway, you know, this is one of your classic scenes. Babyface killer's in the room with her.
But she's, like, trying to find the remote. She hears like a knock, like a thud sort of noise, and she's like, oh, dang, not alone. So she grabs a hammer, and she's just walking around the room. She's armed, and she's like, who's in here? And then she checks it out a little bit. She goes to the bathroom, but she doesn't walk into the bathroom. And you can see she has one of those shower curtain bathtub situations going, and you're like, he's in the shower. We're not dumb. We know what's going to go on. But then the TV turns back on again, and she's like, oh, that scared her. And she turns around to go look at that. And lo and behold, Babyface was in the bathroom the whole time. He's now there. Because she's barricaded herself into the room, they can't get out. So she dies again. She gets stabbed.
Yeah, so another tussle. She dies. She wakes up looking like Alice Cooper.
She does. She's getting worse and worse.
She is getting worse and worse. So this time, she gets to know Carter a bit more. He decides to help her out.
I think at this point she's on to day 4 of dying.
Yeah.
So she's died like 4 times essentially so far, and she's figured out that something's going on.
Well, she woke up screaming the last time, and so this time she's hysteric, and Carter, I think he takes her out for coffee or something like that. They go to talk it out, and Carter convinces her to try and tell him people that might not like her, might have motive, and that's when she starts listing off things like
list.
And she starts listing off things like maybe Danielle because I stuck my tongue down the dude that she likes throat.
Yeah.
And that's when Carter, it was kind of cute. Carter was like, also bad timing. Carter was like, oh, was that before you met me? And I'm like, Carter, time and place. But then Tree did this off comment of like, oh, well, you take advantage of drunk girls. And that's when Carter revealed, no, actually, I slept on my roommate's bed and I gave you my bed.
I didn't want you to choke on your vomit.
This
other chick they went to school with.
Oh, no, he mentions Janis Joplin.
Ah, is that who it was?
Yeah, Janis Joplin, famous 27 Club.
Ah, okay. So Tree's suspect list, talking to Carter like top of her head, needs to name names. Is a lot of people. I couldn't name this many people who would not like me so quickly, I think. That's concerning for Tree. So she has Danielle Gregory, Dr. Gaslight, his wife, because, you know, she knows. Oh. She calls him Creepy Tim. So Subway Guy is Creepy Tim.
Oh.
And then she goes, Tiny Girl from TK Maxx that she got fired. And the Uber driver that I spat on last week. And she's like, I'm not a good person.
And Carter just looks horrified.
He's like, oh my God. Like, we're never going to find the person who's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Yep. Now we get to the montage.
Now we have a montage. And the first scene of the montage is probably my favourite because she thinks Tim.
Oh, I love it. But it's all set to Confident by Demi Lovato, though. So it's this really fun, upbeat, like, she's got this. She's going to find out who did it.
But, like, she goes to Tim. She's stalking outside his window. And he's up behind a laptop. And she sees him grab lube.
And tissues. We know what he's doing.
And we're just like, oh, God. And then Tim gets called away. And... she faces his laptop to the window, and she looks at the window, and there is some very gay porn on that.
Her face is so cute. It's like, oh yeah, now I get it.
Yeah, and she seems so happy for him.
Totally, dude. Like, it was so funny. She's like, yeah, it was great.
and then she gets shanked.
Then she gets shanked.
And Babyface comes in and just completely shanks her.
And she's gone. The next scene in the montage is the one I think we would all want to do, though. If you had a day to repeat, would be cuddle your hair off, dye it really, really dumb colors, and then she essentially, like, she goes back to the sorority. She's following this person who thinks she's on the suspect list, and she's wearing like full-on camo, and she's got like the night goggles.
She's camo face painted.
She's like, she's just gone because she's got the helmet
she's
on.
Following
I think
Dr. Gaslight's wife.
Her name was Stephanie.
I think it was Stephanie.
I want to say her name was Stephanie. So she's just sitting there and she's like stalking her, and then she turns around and then there's Babyface and he pushes her into the fountain and she drowns.
Yeah.
So that was the second one in the montage.
And then the next one.
You and Danielle.
Oh, it's the Danielle one. So this is one that left something unanswered for me. So if you understand why, please let me know. But in this one is when she's trying to cross Danielle off her list. So she and Danielle are walking. She notices Danielle drops all of her notes, and Tree goes to pick them up and notices that there is an envelope that contained the Babyface card that said, "Enjoy your birthday, there's no tomorrow." And Tree goes, "It was you," and starts wailing on Danielle. Like, they start like fighting in the middle of the street.
Pulling hair.
It's very funny. And then a bus hits them. And then she crosses Danielle off her list. And I'm just like, wait, what? No, excuse me. No, this is not how this works. Because at first we thought, oh, maybe Babyface is driving the bus.
But then we paused it.
Then we paused it, rewinded and enhanced. And there was no Babyface driving the bus.
So we don't know if it was just bad timing on a very careless bus driver, or if it was actually Babyface and it was just like you weren't meant to pause the movie at that point.
Yeah, but I was like, what? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'm going to say, for the sake of the movie, it was Babyface. And we just weren't meant to pause it and notice it.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
It's a faux pas for me.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one.
For a Blumhouse thing, they should have picked up on that.
Definitely.
But yeah, so for some reason Danielle has been crossed off the list, but okay.
Don't see her getting down and dirty, stabbing people with bongs though as well.
No, but like she could have hired someone.
Touche. Touche.
Anyway. Now we go to the nudie crudy scene.
The naked campus walk. But she just walks out of the campus or of the dorm rooms and she's just not giving two shits. It's great. The actress who plays Tree, her name is Jessica Ruth, I want to say. It's Jessica something. And she said that it was like weirdly liberating. They had to do it really, really quickly because it was an active campus. So they had to film it. And they stitched it with like 3 or 4 shots, and that's all they got for it. And apparently it was fun, and they couldn't... It was weird because it was an active campus. They didn't want people filming what was going on because it would leak. So
yeah. I kind of like... Because it's kind of showing... You can see the deterioration with Tree, where she's just like, well, if I'm going to keep dying, here's me doing some social suicide over and over and over.
She's becoming less and less self-centered and just not caring what other people think anymore, and she's starting to change her attitude. Yeah.
Anyway, we hit the end of the montage with this one.
Oh no, there's one more.
No, Becky.
There's one more.
Hi. Yeah, no, there's one more. So there's this one where Tree's trying to catch up to her killer. She sees a shadow. She hits it with a baseball bat.
Poor Becky.
And she finds out that she hit Becky. Poor Becky, who just wanted to have her chocolate milk. She hit Becky, and she's like, "Oh no, Becky, I'm so sorry." And then the Babyface killer shows up behind her and just
kills her with the baseball bat that she just hurt Becky with.
Yeah. Okay. Now the montage is over. Okay. Are we even halfway through this film?
No, halfway through the film is when the cop car pulls up.
Okay, we're still going.
I love this. This is one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's a Groundhog Day movie. It's repetitive after a while. And it's not until you do get past that repetitiveness, probably now after the montage, it actually goes like, okay, let's go sort this thing out. He is someone who could be a potential villain, and it carries itself a little bit more now. So
That's okay. So coming up, after the montage, Tree is starting to feel the effects of dying all the time. So she wakes up in Carter's dorm room and she's not feeling it. She's feeling weak. She's not having it. And when Carter's friend / his roommate,
Fine Vagina
guy storms through the door, Tree looks at him and just collapses.
She's done.
She's done. And then the next thing you see is she's woken up in the hospital. She sees a dark figure coming towards her. Surprise, it's not Babyface Killer. It's actually Carter.
Gregory.
Oh, it's
Gregory. Dr. Gaslight.
No, it's Carter, because then Gregory shows up and he goes, who's this?
No, it's Gregory first. Because he has the charts and you're like, oh, he's actually doing doctor stuff for once.
Yeah, because he shows up after. No, it's first it's
No,
Carter.
I'm pretty sure it's Gregory.
Because he's wearing his white shirt, his white doctor scrubs.
Next he walks in and he's like, are you okay? And he like sits on the bed and goes like, the amount of trauma you've gone through, you should be dead.
Yeah, because that's after he kicks Carter
I
out.
don't think he kicks Carter out.
He does, because his visiting hours are over. And she goes, it's okay, he's a friend.
Oh, maybe. God, I don't know. Honestly, like I kind of got to the point with this movie where I'm like zoning out.
Okay, let's just redo that scene. So she wakes up, she sees a dark figure coming towards her. It's not Babyface Killer, it's actually Carter, because he wears all black. And then he's just like, you okay? You kind of fainted. And then Gregory, Dr. Gaslight, shows up and he's like, who's this? And she goes, no, it's okay, he's a friend. But Dr. Gaslight's not having this, not on his turf, kicks him out. And then Dr. Gaslight actually does his job for once and talks to Tree to be like, hey, so going through your charts, you should be kind of dead.
She's like, yeah, I'm not surprised about that because I probably died like how many times now? Like,
yeah,
no.
But he reveals they're going to keep her there for some more tests overnight. And she's like, no, I'm going to be murdered. No. And he's like, no, you're safe here. It's fine. So she cuts him a deal and says, hey, I'd like some soda. Can you get me some soda? And he goes, all right. And he goes off to the vending machines. And she's like, yeah, yeet, boy. She goes to his office, steals his car keys, GTA's his car, out of there.
That's...
Because Babyface is chasing her.
You missed the part where Babyface stabs Dr. Gaslight.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah. So she yeets it out of the room, goes to his office, and then she's like rifling through his drawers and she finds the false bottom with the mask in it.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, oh, shoot, Gregory must be Babyface. So she's kind of gone, like, I've got to be careful of this person now. So she's walked out and that's when she's seen Gregory and Babyface at the same time, and Babyface has just shanked him now. So he's double dead. And then she runs to the parking garage and she has this really cool thing with the clicker where she's trying to find his car. So she's just in this massive parking garage clicking the beeper for the car to try and find which one it is. But by doing that though, it also alerts Babyface of where she is. So it's a very who can get to the car first sort of situation, and Tree gets to the car first. Just before Babyface then smashes the driver's side window and tries to kill her. And then that's when she GTA's out of it.
Okay.
And she's so excited. She's like, I did it. I'm free. I did it. Fuck you. Hell
Catch
yeah.
me now,
Catch
bitch.
me, yeah. So she's all excited. She's happy. She got out of there. She thinks she's done it. And then she gets pulled over by the cops.
I find it hilarious, this sequence, because, like, the cop's like, can I have your license and registration, please? Now, for us, that's a really weird saying because your registration is literally your number plate. But, yeah, okay, show your license and registration. That's also another weird thing here, because if you get pulled over in Australia and they ask you for your license, you legally have 3 days to present your license.
You can show it to them on your phone as well.
Yeah, they can look you up.
Yeah,
but
they can look you up.
They can look you up, but if you do not have your license on you, they'll just give you a report or, like, a ticket, and you take that to the police station and you go, here's my license. I got pulled up the other day. Yeah, that's okay. But, yeah, that's just an Australian thing here. But I found this exchange very funny because he's all like, license registration. She's like, I don't have it. And he's shining a light in her eyes. She's kind of wincing a bit. And he's just like, ma'am, are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol? And then she's like, if I am, will you arrest me and put me in jail? And he's like, yeah, that's
kinda
how it works. And she's like, great, cool, I'm drunk, I'm on drugs, hardcore drugs, marijuana, pot, cocaine, I am on everything.
And he's like, alrighty then, well, I guess you're coming with me?
Good. Would you not think that's suspicious that she's trying to get arrested?
Like, she did say, like, someone's trying to kill her and she left her license in her pants because she was running and didn't get a chance to grab her pants, and that's when he's like, what are you on? But I loved how, like, he's putting her in the back of the cop car and she's like, thank you. She's so excited. She's like, I'm going to be safe. And then the cop gets run over by a speeding car.
Yeah, after she gets put in handcuffs in the back seat, you see the cop out the window in a second, and then he gone no. He just gone, cop go yeah yeet.
Surprise, surprise, it's Babyface.
And Babyface does a creepy thing where he walks up to the car window, he looks at Tree there, and then he walks away to his own car, and then you see him pull out a lit birthday candle, and you realize gas has been leaking out this entire time. Now, this is a really cool scene. This is a really cool effect. It's a really cool explosion, watching the candle fall down to the puddle of fuel and then go up to the car
It's
and then
cool.
go boom.
I like it.
Now, if you watch Mythbusters like I have in my childhood, you know that actually doesn't happen.
But it happens in Hollywood.
Yeah, okay, it's fine.
It happens in Hollywood. The car goes boom.
Car goes boom. She dead. She wakes up again.
She mad. She's over it.
Yeah.
She's so over it.
And then this is when Carter tries to be really nice and help her again and goes, oh, what did he say? I studied neurocognitive psychology or something.
Something like that.
He's just like, it's probably a dream thing. I can help you. And so they go to a diner to go talk it out. And that's when you get the reflection backstory about her mother dying and how she's not a nice person. And if her mother saw her today, she probably wouldn't be proud of her.
No.
Blah.
This was Tree's big, like, reflection moment of, like, exactly what you said. I'm not a good person and I need to change. And my mum will be mortified if she found out the person that I am today.
Yeah. And then the TV in the diner is showing the murderer, who they've shown little hints of the murderer.
He was on the TV report when Tree was, like, bunkered in for the night in her room.
Yeah.
That's what was on the TV when that was going on. The police officer, when he got hit by the car, there was a little bit of chatter over his walkie-talkie. Yeah. So little bits have been dropped at it, but
First
not
time
a
she
lot.
visits the hospital, there's a police...
Yeah, there's a security guard just sitting there. Yeah.
It's just little hints to this murderer.
Little things.
But it's never really stood out until now. So she sees it about the murderer staying in that hospital that she goes to.
Yeah, so the murderer's name is John Toombs.
Okay.
So we might just call him Toombs.
Toomsy! Okay, so Toomies.
And Tree fits his pattern of victim. Like, blonde, pretty, young. And she thinks it's Toomsy who's Babyface. Because she fits his MO.
Yeah. So she runs off to the hospital. She's full on ready to kill Toomies. Like, she runs to the receptionist at the hospital and she is like, he's gonna escape tonight, he's gonna kill me, he's gonna kill her, he's gonna kill me, he's gonna escape, call the police. And she runs to she sees the police security guard that's sitting outside Toomey's room, and she sees that the security guard's entering his room, and she runs over. There's a in case of fire break glass axe. And she breaks the glass, grabs the axe, and she walks over to the room. Meanwhile, the receptionist, who she left sitting there very confused, is there. And she gets to the hospital room, and there's blood on the window before she even decides to enter. And I'm like, cool, that's enough proof to get the nurse to call the police and run away. But no, she goes into the room. Police is dead. Finds Babyface. And then what happens here? They have another fight, I think.
I don't think it was Babyface, and then they have a fight. It goes into the hallway, and he's
There's
like,
like
"Oh, who delivered you to me?" sort of thing. It's like, yeah, they're chasing.
Yeah.
And then Tree gets away, and that's when Carter comes in.
Carter
like tackles Toomsy, and he's like, "I will save you, Tree." And then Toomsy stacks Carter's
neck.
neck.
Oh, that's right, because she goes to shoot him with the police's gun, and
Yeah.
the gun's in safety,
Yeah.
and
She can't American.
she can't gun, and she's a gun dummy, and Toomey's snaps Carter's neck, and she's like, Carter. Anyway, the chase fight goes for a while until they're up in the was it the bell tower?
I think it was like a bell tower. I
don't
thought
know.
at first it looked like an elevator shaft, then I'm like, there are stairs in here. So I think it's like an old bell tower stairway. It's weird. It has
Yeah.
a big stained glass thing, which makes me think it's like a bell tower.
Yeah.
It's a bit odd. It's an old, dusty, crappy room.
Yeah,
really.
because like they're in this like this really long bell tower anyway.
Yeah.
She finds this massive rope at the top anyway. So she ends up succeeding with this fight with Toomsies, and she's getting the upper hand. But then she realizes if she kills him, then Carter's permanently dead.
Like-
All these other people are permanently
The day won't reset.
yeah
And Carter's dead, because her thought was like, oh no, Carter.
yeah.
And so she goes to the very tippity top of the bell tower and just
Hangs
herself
Yeah,
to
she-
reset the day on purpose.
She lets Toomsies recover and chase her, but she's like, I'm gonna come get you next year.
I'll see you tomorrow, dude.
See you tomorrow. Yeah.
I'll see you today.
And she just hangs herself, and we start with the next. And she wakes up this Groundhog Day. She wakes up and she just like snaps her neck back into
Aw.
place, and I was like, oh.
Because they've established that all of her deaths have impacted her currently, so she should be dead. So let's just add a cracked neck onto that.
But this one was cool because she wakes up with a whole different mood. She's happy this time.
She's not selfish anymore.
She realized
She's-
Carter was sacrificing himself for her, so she gives him a big hug despite him not knowing what the hell he did.
Yeah, she's like, you saved my life. And he's like, I just brought you home because you were drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Bomb Vagina comes in.
Well, she asks to borrow his pillow
Yeah.
because she's all happy and she's like, can I borrow this? And he's like, yeah.
It's a pillow.
It's a pillow, but okay, go nuts. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bomb Vagina comes back
Bomb
in.
Vagina goes in, and she like whacks his bum, going, "You're a naughty boy," and then she leaves the room, going, "Bomb Vagina out."
So I think it was fine vagina. It was funny. It doesn't
Yes.
matter what she says. It
Oh,
was
God.
funny. She walks back through campus as she has like all the other days, but her attitude is so different.
Yeah.
So like she tosses her heels over her head.
She
The
steals,
emo guy sunglasses. She's like,
his
"Wink,
Ray-Bans."
I'll take them. She signs a global warming petition, like no problems. Like she takes a clipboard from the lady and does
Yeah.
it. She yells that the sprinklers are going to go off.
To the makeup couple, yeah.
She notices the car alarm's going to go off, but there's not much she can really do about that, I guess.
Yeah, she kind of just points at it knowingly.
Yeah, she's like, car alarm. She knows that the guy's going to fall over in the frat from doing the bottle song for
Yeah.
26 hours. So she gets a pillow and like gets it ready
Right
for when
on
he
his head,
falls.
and gives him a little kiss to
and
sleep.
she's like, no. And then she runs into Tim afterwards, and she tells Tim that it's okay. She knows he doesn't like girls, and love is love, and that's how.
Go find a fine piece of man ass.
It's like, love is love. Now go find yourself a fine piece of man ass. And he's just like,
Okay.
okay.
And then she river dances away.
Yeah, it's so funny.
She doesn't even skip. She's like
Yeah.
river dancing down the.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Then she gets to the frat, not the frat house, her sorority
Sorority
house.
house.
And yeah, when Danielle's about to go,
Where have you been?
She's like, his name is Carter. We did not have sex. But if I live through this day,
I
I'm
will
gonna
have his babies. And Danielle's like, okay. Yeah. She goes back up to her room though, and she apologizes to Laurie, which was nice for being such a shitty roommate and a shitty person, and just acknowledges her attitude, which is really nice.
She was really nice to Laurie, yeah.
Because this whole movie, she's very just blown Laurie off.
Very
So-
dismissive to Laurie.
And she's just trying to help. So she apologizes about that. She knows, like she mentions that she knows that Laurie's mystery guy. So she's like, like, I'm so happy for you. You go keep seeing this mystery guy, because we found out about that at the first frat party where she got murdered with the bong.
Mm-hmm.
she goes to Gregory's lecture after that. And she interrupts and she's like, oi, mate, I want to chat with you.
Yeah.
Pulls him into the hallway and she's like, it's over. I can't.
Yeah.
No, you have a wife.
You have a wife. She loves you.
Have the balls to at least leave her if you're going to, like, cheat on her sort of thing.
Yeah.
And what does he say? He makes a comment about what little self-help
What
book
little self-help book? Yeah.
have you read?
What lame little self-help book have you read?
And how she's not going to be able to, like, coast through his class anymore.
And she's like, already dropped it.
Yeah.
And she just walked right out of there.
it.
And then we have redemption for Becky. Redemption for Becky after this. So we go off to one of that stupid lunch thing.
Yes, I'll let you take this one.
And Danielle is about to be like, Becky, what are you eating? Like, that is like a fat feast right there. And Tree comes out with her tray full of fries and just fatty food. And she's like, it's just food, live a little.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so great.
Stuffing her
I love
face
it.
with fries.
But then and Danielle's doing this whole, like, we're Kappas kind of thing, and I'm just ready to kill her. Anyway, so Danielle goes, when Becky looks like she's about to get up out of embarrassment, Tree goes, no, just give me your chocolate milk for a second. And you can all see where this is going. And you know, the retribution is wonderful from this. And she just walks over to Danielle, and you know what's happening. She just tips that chocolate frigging milk all over Danielle's hair, and it is
it's
chef's
great.
kiss. Danielle runs off screaming. Carter comes in. There is a beautiful kiss, and I am very happy with this union.
It's good.
It's so
And she's
good.
like, do you want to take me out for my birthday dinner? And Carter's like, yeah, sure, okay.
Yep.
And then that's it.
And then
I
we
love Carter. He's my favourite.
And now up to
he's so
Carly's
cute.
favourite, sad dad.
Sad dads make me so sad.
And I just want to point out here, this entire time is Tree has been wearing the leggings and band shirt that is Carter's shirt and her leggings from the night before. And she still continues.
She's still barefoot at this
and
really
no
fancy
shoes.
dinner.
She threw her heels off somewhere else. And she goes off to a birthday lunch catch up with her dad, still barefoot. Yep. Anyway.
Yep. So we meet Tree's dad because the whole time, well, throughout this whole movie on her days, the dad's been ringing constantly to try and talk to her, and we know Tree had stood up the dad for the lunch, and he's just sad. He's just a sad dad.
Mm-hmm.
But she comes to the dinner, and the dad's like, I'll just get a cup of coffee and I'll get the bill. I'm gonna go now. And the waitress is like, oh, you're not gonna eat? He's like, no, I gotta go. But then Tree's there. She's just
Tree's
like,
there.
I'm sorry.
Cut the small talk. She says, I hate small talk.
They apologize. She explains to her dad how hard the day is for her because her and mum were so close and they share a birthday. And the dad apologizes, and they're both saying how they miss their mum and how they miss each other. And it's sad. It makes me happy, and sad dads make me sad.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely good, happy dads just make me really sad they're sad. That's everyone's like, puppies make them cry. Mine's sad, good dads.
Yeah, no, it is sad, but it's a little happy union of when they both like kind of forgive each other. So
Yeah.
when this is a good day, this is a happy day, and then after that we go straight into this montage where
She's gonna go kill Toomey's.
she's gonna go kill Timmy. So she's putting on a leather jacket, she's putting her hair up in a ponytail.
She puts on her pink watch. It
Her
reminds
pink
me of
watch.
your Lollipop Chainsaw watch.
Oh yeah.
She like sets the time on it.
those
It's,
old like
synchronized.
G-Shock baby G watches
Yeah.
from the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's ready to go. She packs a knife or whatever.
Yeah, she goes to hospital and she
She just straight up threatens the cop.
Yeah, no, flat
She just-
out. She just puts a knife to the cop's throat and she's just like, go call help. And he's like, no, you don't know what you're doing. And she's like, go call help. And he kind of lets her go. Or she lets him go. But it's still, dude, you're going to get arrested if he comes back after all of
Yeah,
this.
it's a really weird exchange.
And
but
then she says like, well, and then she says something about like, oh, you haven't died 16 times. Like,
Yeah.
go get help sort of thing.
Didn't she take his gun? Yeah, she
She took his gun.
She takes his
So
gun.
then she tries to tell security that Toomey's going to escape and they're just not listening. But he's still in the hospital bed, restrained and pretending to be asleep. And she's like, I know you're not asleep. And she gets ready to shoot him. And he opens his eyes and he's like, the safety's on.
Yeah, because she pulls the trigger and
Nothing happens.
nothing happens.
Nothing
Once
happens.
again, The safety's on. She's a gun dummy
Yeah,
again.
again. Toomey's attacks her, takes her knife that she had put back in her little like knifey holster thing, and
They have a bit of a fight for a bit,
Bit of
and
a
then
fight.
her watch goes off. What was the point of the watch going off?
the watch was going off to remind her the power was going out.
Oh,
So she was down because he's making creepy comments towards her because she's like his victim type, and then the watch goes off, and then the power goes out,
That's
when she like essentially gets ahead of him, and she goes behind him, and she goes behind him, and then she shoots him. He's dead.
Yeah, that's
Toomey's
right.
dead. She just shoots him,
She
and
goes
he's on
thanks
the
to the
floor.
tip, turks the safety off, shoots him.
Shoots him.
This gun whose clip is not even full. She unloads 3 shots to him, and he's just gone.
Yeah, and that was it. So this whole time, like, the last 10 minutes has been like, okay, that's it. Toomey's is the reason for my death. She goes to the hospital. She warns people he's going to escape, and that's it. He's dead after a 2-minute fight, and you're like, okay, it was a bit weirdly anticlimactic. For me, when I first watched this movie, I'm like, that's very, very quick, but also
I can take it.
I can take it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not expecting a giant, great movie, so okay, I'm happy with that ending.
And then her and Carter. Next scene is her and Carter in her apartment. And they've got the little cupcake, and
Because I had birthday dinner plans.
they had birthday dinner plans. Yeah, and
They toast the next day, and
yeah.
then she wakes up again.
Then she wakes up. Yeah, that's right. Because she blows out the candle, and then all is dark.
Yeah, so we're up to the cupcake count. So the first was the trash, the second was it didn't take, the third one she put it down, the fourth time she did.
Oh yeah, because there was no cupcake in the montage. The montage
Yeah.
was just death.
Death.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So the fourth time, she eats the cupcake, and then screen blacks out, and she wakes up to the dinging bell in the dorm rooms.
Yep.
And she's like, "What is happening?"
She's pissed.
They had
She's
it sorted.
mad.
And then she goes back to her, she's screaming at Carter. Carter's like, I what?
What?
Okay. I did feel sorry for Carter.
Even Vine the giant guy, she storms out. He pops his head around the corner and is like, "What?
Yeah.
Who was that chick you brought home last night?"
Alright, it's just so weird.
Yeah, man. So Tree goes back to the sorority house, and she's just packing a bag really, really quickly. And her roommate Laurie's just sitting there what are you doing? And Tree's like, it's me. I have to leave this place. I can't do this. I have to go.
Yeah, I just keep dying. She's just just making all this stuff about how she keeps dying, and then she thought she had it sorted, but then she ate the cupcake. Last thing she knew was eating the cupcake. That's right. She's offering her the cupcake. She's like, I've already had one last night.
And then it twigs.
She gets it. She's just like, wait, cupcake. That was the last thing. It was you.
Yeah. And what you said when watching the movie before, the actress who plays Laurie does that reaction so well of the I know you know, but I'm gonna pretend to not know.
I've been caught, but I'm trying to lie. She's very good at having the fake surprised eyes,
But so guilty and smiley at the same time. She did it so well.
It was the actress is very good at that.
Yeah.
She just did it so well. She had that wide-eyed look to also be like, no, yeah.
Why it was never me, while nodding at the same time. And Tree realizes it was Laurie, and the cupcake is poison. And she asks Laurie, she's like, "What did you do? Why did you do this?" And Laurie essentially says, "'Cause you're a slut."
It was all over Gregory.
It was all over Gregory.
It was Dr. Gaslight Gregory. That Laurie said he chose you over me, and
he was the mystery guy that Laurie was also seeing.
Yeah,
and she was essentially she was jealous.
She was jealous, and that's what. And Tree was like, "Yeah, killing me over some stupid guy," which I'm like, yes, this is really real. Oh, but Laurie was very good at having this petty, unhinged attitude about her. This is when just the facade dropped and she just went crazy.
She went nuts. So look, she was calculated though. So Toomey's fits in with it because Laurie was going to murder Tree with the cupcake. Tree wouldn't eat the cupcake because it's a carb and it's a cupcake. So she had to find another way to kill Tree. So Laurie pretended to be Babyface. And then, because she worked at the hospital, she got Toomey's from when he was shot from being arrested. So her whole plan was to peg it on Toomey's to let him escape. She's going to drug him, confuse him, plant a baby face mask on him, and make it look like it was him, and she would just get away with the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was the plan. And she couldn't figure out how Tree had figured out that she'd poisoned the cupcake before she ate the cupcake.
Yeah.
She was so confused. But it's okay. She didn't care. She's like, whatever. I'm just going to have to go kill you again now, won't I? And they're like, they fell on the bed. And then Danielle like knocks on the door. And she's like, Rose, what are you doing? And she's like, nothing. And Danielle's like, well, remember the sorority lunch that we have? And that's when Throw like just throat punches Laurie and then kicks her out the window. And that poor cute little girl the whole time listening to the music downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, and she's just like...
See, what I don't get after this, so basically this is end of story here. Like, we're wrapping it up. The murderer is finally dead.
It was Laurie the entire time.
She's been thrown out the window. Then we quickly go to another scene where Tree and Carter are watching the news report in the same diner that they keep returning to.
Oh, but then Danielle's on the news.
Danielle is just being... I said to Carly in this scene, I was like, why the fuck are they giving Danielle airtime? Because she's just there sprouting some bullshit like, a cupcake? Really? We're Kappas. We don't eat cupcakes. And then Carly had to remind me that the news has interviewed more degenerate people before. So, no.
They want that viral video of this Kappa person saying she wore Crocs.
That's
not
Crocs.
A Kappa.
Yeah, that's right.
She never wore makeup. She never took cute selfies. She owned a pair of Crocs.
But
and I'm like, oh no.
So we kind of missed the whole sequence where Tree explains to Carter that she's been dying over and over and over and over and over. How does he know at the end of the film?
What do you mean?
Well, you know how she was always able to be like, okay, car alarm goes off now, sprinklers go off now.
Yeah.
At the end of the film, did she even explain?
I think it was just assumed that she just had told Carter, like, because she has to wake up with Carter in the morning. She just told him, like, flat out, because they showed twice her explaining the days to him. So I think it was just implied that he just understood.
Okay.
That's how I took it, at least. And then they made the comment about, doesn't this remind you of that Bill Murray movie? And then Tree's like, who's Bill Murray? And then Carter's like, like Groundhog Day, Ghostbusters, and then make the connection between the two movies. And Tree's still like, I don't know who Bill Murray is.
Sacrilege.
Yep.
And then you just have this wholesome, funny moment the next day. Like, she wakes up, Carter has set it all up to be like...
He fooled us so much.
He fooled us so much. And I think that's really cute.
Oh,
and then
that's so cool.
We have the end of the film, finally. 1 hour and 45 minutes into recording, and I can see my cat's trying to get into the room.
I liked it. What were your thoughts overall on it?
It was a cute movie.
It's a good movie.
It was a cute movie. For something that aimed to be PG-13, it ended up being M15 here in Australia. So M in Australia is M15. It is basically, we encourage people to see this to be over the age of 15, but you can just say you have mum and dad's permission and you're fine.
It's a preteen horror. It's a light horror to get you in the door with horror without being a Conjuring or a
I wouldn't say preteen
Halloween,
because you're saying under the age of 13.
Oh, it's like a younger version horror movie. You wouldn't recommend
young adult horror.
Young adult horror.
YA in the book era.
Yeah, it's a young entry horror movie, I would say it would be. Like, if you're interested, you want to dabble, Happy Death Day is a good one to start off with.
It's just one of those funny, feel-good horrors.
It's not, it's campy. It was just like Freaky, because the same people made Freaky, and we saw that, we walked out, and we were like, that's what I wanted, a simple, easy, good horror.
Because I know some of my friends, they love horror, but they can also get too squeamish when it comes to things. And there's different subgenres of horror out there. And sometimes you just want that easy watch. You don't want to think too hard. You don't want to cringe too hard.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I love how campy and funny the Nightmare on Elm Street's one, there are some scenes that make me just go, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at that. Like, there's Like that scene with the kid that needs the hearing aid and they stick the cotton
Oh,
bud through his
yeah.
ears.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. See, mine's a cockroach.
oh, Cockroach, yeah, that's
Cockroach
one.
Motel. But you know, I liked Freaky. I watched it when it came out in the movies. I saw the sequel when it came out as well. No, I liked it. I think
Are you talking about Freaky? Or do you...
Freaky, sorry, Happy Death Day. I'll say that again if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I liked Happy Death Day. It was a good movie. Easy watch. I saw the sequel.
Yeah.
I think analysing it and watching it, because we watched it 2 or 3 times between 2 of us.
Yeah, this
like
is
we
the
watched
third
it
time
together.
this week.
And
Yeah.
we watched it a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I think we got halfway through this and we were like, we're over this movie so far, because it is such a repetitive movie and it's not a movie that's meant to be taken seriously.
Yes.
So when we do watch it to try and do these, we do watch them and pull them apart and try and overanalyze them sometimes to the point of there's nothing to analyze because it is just it's just an fun comedy horror movie.
Because there was definitely scenes that were overdone. So, for example...
The lunch scene,
like, you're just going to assume she's going by her daily day. Like, you could just freaking time-lapse through that. You don't need to give us a new scene every time because, yeah, okay, she's going to be disoriented and Danielle's going to be like, Tree, are you okay? And it's just going to keep happening. But other than that, I enjoyed it. It was pretty fun.
I liked it.
So-
I still like it.
It's now 11 p.m. We should probably wrap this up so you can actually go home because it's your birthday in an hour.
I'm so tired. It's been a week.
That's okay. Let's wrap this up.
Oh,
So,
it's been a week with work and that lockdown and...
it's been stressful.
Oh, God, it's just been a week. We're very
Anyway.
excited Easter's allowed to still go ahead.
Like, we've already transitioned from wine to tea during this episode.
We did.
We did.
We started with wine.
And we were like, nah, tea break.
Tea break.
Anyway, I just want to say thank you all for joining us again for tonight's episode of the Bloody Hell podcast. We had a great time watching Happy Death Day. I was going to say Freaky, but no, we watched Happy Death Day.
We'll do Freaky soon.
We'll do Freaky
We'll
soon.
do Freaky
Freaky was
soon.
good.
I like
I like Freaky.
We'll do Freaky soon.
But with that, we're going to cap it off for tonight and we'll see you in another couple of weeks' time.
I need to go to bed and feed my cats and just go to bed.
I just need to go to bed.
It's past my bedtime.
Okay, so thank you all and we'll see you.
Bye.